Hey everybody! Welcome back to the Yu Yu Hakusho Let's Play Dark Tournament. Finally a round that doesn't suck. And, first round didn't suck. The second was the Dr. Ichigaki, and I have bad memories of that part of the show. Going, when is this over? You know. So this is Team Masho. I think it's, one of the most exciting rounds of the tournament, which is funny, because it's not the final round, but a lot of memorable characters come from this round, and a lot of twists. One of them being, right here at the beginning, we see that, despite the fact Kuwabara is beaten within an inch of his life, he's really on the brink of death right now, the, tournament committee, which is, you know, obviously biased against Yusuke, rigged it so that, first of all, they had to fight, there were an odd number of teams for the tournament, so they had to go out of order and, fight a double, which I think they showed the bracket real fast, and you can see that they have to fight a double, but they thought that there would be a break, you know, between fighting They were the last to fight this round, and they said, well, we're starting the next round immediately, there's not going to be a break, and you're the first to fight this round. So they fight a double, you know, which means they fight more matches than anyone else in the tournament, and they have no break, and they have incapacitated members. So, you know, like, Genkai and Hiei can't fight at all for some reason. I would get into it, but it's complicated. They basically are put in sort of a quarantine, despite the fact that they are able to fight. And Kuwabara is, of course, pretty much half dead. That leaves Kurama and Yusuke as the only two fighting able. And Yusuke's kind of tired, but he recovers fast. He's not really a concern. Kurama's at full... he's not at full health, which is why I kept failing this match. The conceit of this match here is you're fighting Gamma, who is very strong. His strength is combos, although he has pretty good spirit moves too. He's a pretty good character to fight as, actually. I enjoy playing with Gamma. Not that you get to do that in the Dark Tournament, but you can do that in Versus mode. Anyway, you're going to see me lose this match dozens of times. That's not true, not dozens of times, but all the other matches go by fast compared to this one, which is why I'm not in a hurry to talk about any of it. But the character Gamma here, along with the others, they're all elemental ninjas, except Gamma, who, like, I don't know what his element was, or if he had one. He was just kind of weird. He fights with makeup. He uses tricks, like makeup, to make himself invisible, and just various different things like that. Anyway, so in this fight, in the story, he put this specific makeup of chains on, Kurama, which inhibited his mobility. I guess the programmers couldn't figure out how to do that, so basically all you do is you start out with half health, which works pretty well too, and it's just as inhibiting because, again, Gamma is so strong, as you're going to see here. He just beats the shit out of me, and so you think, okay, well, why don't you just back up and use long-distance attacks? Kurama has lots of distance attacks. Why don't you just do that? Well, you're going to see me try to do that a lot, and look what happens. Gamma turns invisible. And so, see, look, that was a Death Tree move I used there to try to expose him, because once you hit him once, he will not be invisible anymore. But until you hit him, he's invisible. He can last as long as he wants in that, so you hit him. So if I keep missing, it doesn't do me any good, and I have very little health. So once he gets close to me while he's invisible, boom, 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 I'm dead. So yeah, I had to figure out sort of a happy medium. I think this is the match I win. So I ended up getting ring out on him or something like that. You'll see here in a minute. So I used the Rose Rain Repel to, I think it's supposed to lift your spirited energy. I don't know if it does or not. Transform, and then I was like, okay, you know, hit him once, and then see if that's another thing. Not only does he turn invisible, but even when he doesn't, when I just started to do distance attacks like that, he kept blocking them. I don't know if you noticed that. That was more in the earlier matches than the one you're seeing right now. But I was very frustrated with Gamma. It's like, you keep blocking my attack. Why are you... Yeah, it's not this one. It's the next match that I finally win. So I apologize that it took this long to beat him, but hopefully you can see why. This is a very difficult match. The ones after it actually weren't nearly as bad. You can't fight him close up. Kurama's strength is his spirit moves, as you can see here. That's his forte, but they're not helping me here because Gamma keeps blocking them. Oh, I'm gonna transform back there, so I'm trying to hit him while See, I can get up close and personal, start wailing on him, but the minute I do, he does that! Ooh. So, I gotta stick to long-distance moves, but when I do that, he turns invisible. What am I supposed to do? You know? So, I was really close to killing him here, but as you can see, there was a glitch or something, and I just died. I don't know what that was. That's a part of this being kind of a broken game. That's not broken. You can still play it. It's just got some glitches. So I mysteriously died for no reason in that last round. Okay. So, let's see. What can I talk about besides this match? Because it's gone on long enough, I think you get the gist. Oh yeah, well, the interesting thing about Team Masho is that unlike, they weren't just evil, they were, in fact, the shinobi are a respective group. And the fun thing about them as a team was that when they're fighting them, Kurama, being the wise fighter, he's the one who takes his time to analyze the enemy or whatever. He delays too long. Like, he's the opposite of Hiei, who gets into a match and kills things immediately. And he doesn't, he's too hasty, which is his downfall in a future round. In fact, I think the next one, which is the second to last, the semifinals. And again, I don't think it was as entertaining as, ironically, this round in the tournament. But Hiei gets in and kills things. Kurama takes his time to learn about the enemy. In fact, he's honestly very invested in them, which I think was key in this round, because he does get to... Yeah, I finally beat him. He does get to know the enemy very intimately, and he learns that Team Masho here, the shinobi, the demon ninjas, are... kind of sick of living in the shadows, and the reason they entered this tournament, by the way, I'm not sure if I clarified, but even though Yusuke and company were blackmailed into being in this tournament and didn't really want to, the winner of the tournament gets one wish. It's anything they want that can be granted with money. There's very rich people running this. And what the Team Masho wants, these shinobi ninjas, is they want an island in the real world to themselves. They're tired of living in the underworlds of hell, and they just want to be free and live in the open air. And it was kind of an interesting motive. It's like, wow, these guys really aren't evil, but they're still willing to kill us to, Okay. So, the trick here is, again, in the story, you can see that Kurama's not moving his arms or legs. He couldn't move his arms or legs in this battle, and the way he beat Gamma is he channeled his spirit energy through his hair, and the rose whip that he uses shot out of his hair and ripped Gamma into shreds when he least expected it. Again, he delayed and let Gamma wail on him a little bit. You know, it was very interesting. Kurama always sneaks up on people with his, surprise techniques. And, but here's the problem. As you can see, he did delay too long, and he let Gamma hit on him. Instead of leaving or, just finishing him off, he kept saying, you should live, I'm giving you another chance, and he let Gamma hit him, and Gamma wasn't trying to hit him. He was trying to, get enough of his blood on him, which that's what the paint is, the makeup is his blood, to put a seal or a curse on him with his dying breath that will seal all his spirit energy inside of him. This made the show extra tense, so now Kurama cannot move his arms or legs, and he cannot use any of his spirit energy. And he's fighting this guy. Toya here is an ice master. He turns the entire stage into ice, which he can't do that in the game, but he does something similar. That's John Bergmeyer playing Kurama, by the way. You don't hear as much of him in Funimation stuff now, but you still definitely hear him. He's probably most famous or most loved for playing Shigure in Fruits Basket. So, yeah, sorry that was a bit of a tangent, but you know how I am with voice actors and stuff. So, the guy playing Toya here, by the way, I don't know who he is. He's not the best in the world, and I never really heard him again. This was back when Funimation was kind of finding their feet and finding actors to work with and stuff like that. And so the guy playing Toya here I have no idea who he is. He was just in this one role and then disappeared. It's one of those fun things, old dubs. They get random people. And he wasn't that great. He wasn't terrible, but he was not... You could tell he wasn't going to be a really good voice actor or anything. Maybe that's not nice to say. I apologize. Anyway, so... The good thing is that in the show, the curse where he can't move his arms or legs does wear off fairly soon. Enough where he can sort of survive, But once he's fully mobile, he still can't use any of his spirit attacks, and that's what's going on here in this match. I had my full health back, thank God, but if I had half health and no spirit energy, I don't think anybody could beat this. Ow. That was unnecessary, Toya. I was already dead. So, what Toya does, as you can see, is he can fuse ice onto his hand and make a sword, and that's in the show, too. A lot of this is very faithful to the show. I think the game makers really love the show. So, I'm just jumping and kicking here, because, honestly, you can't use your whip, you can't use any transformation attacks, anything, which is Kurama's entire strength. Because in combos, you may notice he has very few combos. He punches slow. I can block okay. See that little knife thing? That actually takes several button presses to get right. So I think I beat him with ring outs and stuff. I didn't have to fight this character more than once or twice. miraculously. This should be a lot harder than... Okay, somebody is running some sort of mysterious mowing thing outside, and I think it's gonna block out my narration a little bit, so I will talk louder and drown them out. So yeah, I won this simply by virtue of being a vicious, vicious button masher. This is how I survived Smash Brothers, and this is how I'm gonna survive Yu Yu Hakusho, bitches. So, yeah, that and jumping. I like characters that jump. Jumping is not a very helpful technique in this game, but if I can abuse it, I will. Especially in this, because I have no spirit energy attacks, no special attacks, so I just had to mash. And that's kind of how you beat Toya here, because there's nothing else that you can do. Kurama is shit with combos and special punches and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I like that the game matched up with the show's mythos, I guess. I mean, I like that word too much. You're gonna find if you ever listen to me talking, I use the word mythos as a placeholder for anything. Okay, this fight went really fast, and that's a shame, because in the show itself, it lasted a really long time, and this is probably my favorite non-main character in Yu Yu Hakusho, Jean, the Wind Master. And you're not going to get to hear him speak in this, but if you recall, back when I was talking in the, you pronounce it Jean, not Jin, but whatever. And, though really, maybe you do pronounce it Jin. Maybe it was based off Jin, like the genie, like the wind demon things from, I don't know what they based it on. I may never know, but the way you would pronounce it, the way it's spelled in Japanese is Jean. I don't think it matters. Anywho, so, in the show, this was a really long fight, but here it's not. There are no special rules to this match. This is a completely standard beat-em-up, brawl, match here. All you have to do is beat the shit out of Jean. In the show, this is probably one of my favorite non-main characters, and I mentioned very early on, I kept wanting to use the Spirit Shotgun and hit him with it, but my timing was bad. You'll never see me actually knock him out with that move. Or any spirit move, I just punched him to death. Anyway, to talk about Jean here for a minute, he's played by Jerry Jewell, and I think Funimation gets Jerry Jewell for any accent that nobody else is proficient in or something, because Jerry Jewell is not really good in any accent that I've heard. There's none that he just pulls off perfectly, but he's played just about every accent I can think of, just enough so it's funny, or or it works. So he's very versatile, but you can always sort of tell it's him. But this was not one of those cases. This was very early Funimation days, again, where they didn't have the rules, the pedigree that they necessarily do now, and it's a hilariously bad but incredibly entertaining Irish accent that they put on Jean. I don't remember how he spoke in the Japanese, but it was incomprehensible. He couldn't really... It was like, what? I don't remember what his speech thing was, but it was something either really rude or unconventional or incomprehensible. And so basically what they did was they just turned him into an Irishman. And I can't do an Irish accent to save my life, but I'll talk about this match in a minute, but I want to talk about Jin more, because that match was really short. You can kind of tell by looking at it what's going to happen in this match, though. Anyway, so yes, Kurama is incapacitated too. There was a match in the show, it wasn't really a match, and a character, this is the only character of the Dark Tournament they cut out, that incapacitated Kurama fully. If you want to know how he beat Toya, he cut open his arm, so that his spirit energy... it was locked inside him, but he was like, well, fine, and I'll just cut open my arm. He planted the seed of the death plant inside his own arm, and it attached to his spirit energy and grew, so it was a cheat. But unfortunately, that also means he has a death plant growing inside him at this moment. Again, this was a great round. So to talk about Jean real fast, I mentioned in the very first part of the Let's Play that there are some embarrassingly doofy accents in this, and I mentioned... the Australian accent on Chu, but yeah, you have to, because there's no clips of it in the game, you have to look up Jean the Wind Master from Yu Yu Hakusho and his atrociously amazing Irish accent. I mean, I love that character and I love that voice that he was given, so it's funny. Anyway, so Yusuke could no longer fight for some reason, blah blah blah, I don't remember what it was, and something about beating someone. Anyways, but they had one team member left. As you can see, he controls Earth, and Kuwabara has to fight him. And Kuwabara is still beaten within an inch of his life, and so that's how you play this match. They give you a fourth of your health, which means instant death. And basically, the only way to beat him is to, and this happened in the show too, I guess, you know what? I'm going to explain that once it happens again, because this is the middle of the match. But I know that I'm not going to win this one. I came close, but I think I lost. Risho, here's the problem with fighting Risho. Risho hits hard, and if you want to back away and get away from him, he doesn't hit fast. He's a slow hitter, but